came true.
This is my dream wedding.
We work together in the same office, and sometimes not necessarily because sometimes we differ matter of principle. You find as a CEO and she's the MD, sometimes there's a decision that needs to be made, and the CEO says this and the MD says this, but the decision has to be made. So there's the part of the husband and the wife, and the part of the CEO and the MD. She's in charge of finances and business development. I'm in charge of marketing and operations. So maybe it's something relating to finance. Maybe she needs to make this decision, but I need to overrule her. Now, not as a husband, but now as a CEO. And she needs maybe to overrule something, not as the wife, but as a one in charge of finances. Those are some of the challenges that we face when we work. We work together.
You cannot totally separate the husband and wife from the business if you're doing the business together. I see people coming to our office and they're like, wow, I like the way you're working together. And I'm like, is it a wonder? As in, how are we expected to work? And what I would like to advise, especially women and couples, who are working or doing business together, as much as you're both co-directors, for it to work, for you to run the business together, there also must be the husband and wife where you have to submit. So sometimes if we are differing in opinion, now a decision still has to be made. So him as the head of the family and also the CEO in the company, although to me might not be the right decision for the company, as a wife, I have to submit. We go by his decision. And then later is when, in a wise way, I will tell him that, sweetie, I still think we should consider this, or, something in a nice, polite way. But now, when you start now, inaitwa kuleta kichwa, that way you will lose and it will not work. So I think women need to use a lot of wisdom to be able to grow their empires as a family.
We work together. It has pros and cons, and as he has said, we differentiate between. We try not to carry our work home most of the time, but we find ourselves you can't avoid, because we can't differentiate between home and work. But what we try to do, if kuna vile tumekosana nyumbani, for example, we don't carry that to the office. That one we don't. The office has to run as normal. Then tukifika nyumbani, we sit down and discuss and talk about what we want to talk about. You see, if we have differed. But if we differ, there are so many ways that we are able to resolve. With time, because we have become a corporate, we have learned even to handle our differences in a corporate way. Sometimes we can write each other an email, or we can talk, we can call each other through an extension of the office to say, even if we don't want to maybe to meet eye to eye, to call each other to say, Sasa, can we go for lunch? So when you go for lunch, or can you come and sign the checks? So when that happens now, si lazima mtaongea, ama this check ni ya wapi, inalipo wapi, such like things. So you find yourself talking. I think that's how we are be able to communication. Yes. Each other email, because there's something that needs to be approved through the email. And when you want to start a conversation, you can do it through the email as an icebreaker. It works. Each has his or her own roles in the company, which are clearly defined. But we normally don't have issues with finances. Everyone is on a salary, but I do most of the work. Normally, as the man, I'm the one who do most of the work, which is normal. I feel good when I'm providing, because that makes me a man. And her, as the Bible says, man are supposed to provide for the family. When if I would not be providing, I would feel like I'm a weak man. But now I provide. She want to ask me for give me money to buy this, I give it to her. If I don't have it at that particular time, I tell her I don't have it, but can you use yours? You see, but she will have asked from me first. I meant to have it at that particular time, but I ask her, can you, because I know she has, so she can use hers. But it will be from my own directive. So it means that it is me who has, it's like me who was given out. But I think it's finances. Other families, I know they have a lot of issues with finances, but us, I think, because of working together, and we normally see how each other struggle and work so hard. So we normally don't have an issue with finances, because whatever she needs, I give it to her, and she will not ask something out of ordinary because she knows how much I have. She only knows my account, I know her account. If I want to do something, she should not tell me not to do it. If she wants to do it, if we have the finances, I will not tell her not to do it. That's how we operate. And we do most of the things, together. Most of them, we do them together. If I want to buy something, I tell her I'm buying this. Even if I'm buying from my own salary, I'll tell her I'm buying this. It's still ours. If she wants to buy something, she buys, and it's still ours. Yes. And his account that are
The company runs itself.
that are run not by us, but run by the professional team. But we have our own accounts. We have joint account, and we have our own personal accounts. Yes.
Okay. What advice is that you need to separate the business from the family. Yeah. So as a family, whether you're in business or you're working, there's no organization that operates without a budget. So why should a family also not have a budget? So once you know this is our budget for the family, then it's very crucial that now you know where the funds will come from. If it's the husband working alone, maybe of course he will provide. But for our case, now the business runs itself. But for us as a family, we now know how to do our thing. He's in charge of the bigger things. For me, there are some small things I cannot go to tell him hakuna chumvi. Yeah, I think it's a shame for for some of those small things, if a woman has to pester the man to provide. But now when we come to big things, then at least he takes responsibility. When we were paying rent, for me, I don't know where the money for rent, comes from, But the small things, I will not even pester them, because sometimes some of these things are what brings frictions in marriage. And but we have at one point been very down financially. We even didn't have money for food.
We started the company, and she resigned from where she was. When we got married, she resigned before marriage, and me, I resigned after. But the business was not doing well. So we are not on salary, and we don't have money. I remember I had to borrow some money.
Yeah, it was just after our wedding. So in a way, like something happened. So like we were nil. We didn't have money even for food. So I remember that week vividly. We would wake up in the morning, like the leftovers, the ugali for the previous night, and you make with tea. And then now we leave the house when we are
full.
And we would go to the office and work, and then come in the evening. So at one point now we were like, even the food in the houses, it was a span of like a month. So like now even that ugali we were eating in the morning to keep us the whole day got finished. Now we had no choice but to call our friends and borrow. So after having done this grand wedding, we started making calls. So all of us, whoever we called, like the answer was, sorry, we were just borrowing 20K. At least we knew we would survive us till the end of the month. So like they would just answer, Sina, and then we were very discouraged. But thank God in the midst of friends you cannot miss one who will salvage you. So at least someone gave us, and we were able to endure until we got some business that gave us money to continue operating.
And remember, we had to we were walking to a certain place so that we can pay some fare, some reasonable fare. In the morning we walked to, and we didn't want people to see us because we had just done a good wedding, and now we are walking.
You've forgotten we had bought a motorcycle for the office.
Yes.
So, and we didn't have a car. Now we had sold our car. So he would carry me with the motorcycle.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, to the office.
He would ride that bike until the office. But what I would like to tell people is that when you are persistent and you have a vision and focus, things will work. We are focused and we knew things will work for us. And when we were not discouraged, yes, we felt we don't have food today, we don't have fare and all that we could borrow, but we borrowed with a purpose. I think that's what is important. And it worked. And we were able, another thing is that we have not forgotten each other. I mean, we have, after that, when we think we are well off, we are still the friends that we were then. You see, most people you find, when now you are like this, you are good friends, and when now you become this, now you start having, no, even her, she still does, like now me in the house, I like her serving my food. And it happens even now. Whether she's tired or not, me will not be served by the nanny, it's hard to serve me. So it's hard to understand, because that's what I like. Because I want my wife to serve me. Because it's not the nanny I got married to. Yes, she can cook and all that, but her to serve me the food. Whether she's tired or not, whether she's the MD of the company, that she is from a board meeting, when you go home, she has to serve me. Those are some of the things that I expect as the husband.
Yeah, the man, I attend a lot of bridal showers, and I keep telling the ladies, let the man feel married. The same way you have expectations that you are now getting into marriage and you'll be able to enjoy some of these privileges as a wife. Also, a man is getting, don't say we are modernized, as in he's an easy guy. Don't take things for granted. Let the man feel married. Yes.
Let the man be the man.
And maybe you can start observing as maybe from your parents. If your dad was not going to the kitchen to cook, he was not serving him. There's the way your mom used to treat your dad. It's the same way also your husband is coming from a family, and there's a way his mom used to treat his dad. And he's entering into this marriage with an expectation that I'm now married and I'll now be able to be treated like the way mommy treats daddy. Yes.
I would encourage ladies, yes, you might have whatever position career-wise you have, but as she has said, let your man be a man. I can do a barbecue, there's a choma nyama, which at my own will, but let it not be being today because I am from a board meeting. Now go to the kitchen, to the fridge and get food. Yes, I will, but that will make me not feel like a man enough. When the man, his ego is, when a man, his ego it's compromised, a man feels, you see, this is not the way I would want things to be. Yes, even if you are a career woman, just do some things that a man is supposed, whatever your husband is supposed to be done to a husband. But equally to the men, please, whether you are what position, and you be, even if your spouse is how high in the career, there's some things that as a husband you need to do. Provide. Let a lady feel she's getting something from you. That will make her a little bit feel obliged and submissive. That submission is quite important, both ends. Yes.